The first night I moved into my new apartment, I counted the windows. 11. Across the street. 3rd floor of the building opposite mine. I didn't know why I counted them. I just did. I went to bed, and I slept fine. And in the morning, I made coffee and forgot all about it. That was the last normal night I ever had. It started small, the way the worst things always do. A week after moving in, I noticed that the window directly across from mine, 3rd floor, 2nd from the left, was always lit. Every night, at every hour, 2 a.m., 4 a.m., didn't matter. Always on. Always the same pale, yellow light. I told myself it was a night owl, a shift worker, someone who slept with the lights on. I told myself a lot of things in those early days. Then I noticed the figure. It was standing at the window, not moving, not looking down at the street, not looking at a phone, just standing, facing my building, facing, as far as I could tell, my window specifically. I stepped back from the glass. I waited 5 minutes, then looked again. Still there. I pulled the curtains shut. I laughed at myself.
It's just a person in their own apartment.
And I went to bed. But I checked the lock twice before I did. Then a 3rd time. Then once more, just to be sure. I started noticing other things. The Thai place down the street. I'd ordered from them twice. The 2nd time, the delivery guy paused at the door and said,
"Back again?"
I said yes, assuming I just looked familiar. It was only later that I realized I'd paid cash both times. Given a different name, there was no way that man should have recognized me. I let it go. 3 weeks in, the figure across the street was still there. Every night. Same window. Same stillness. I bought binoculars. I told myself it was curiosity. Nothing wrong with that. I waited until 2 a.m. when the street was quiet, and I raised the binoculars to the window across the street. The figure was there, and for the first time, I could see it clearly. It was me. Same build. I lowered the binoculars. I looked down at my own hands. I raised the binoculars again. The figure raised something to its face. Binoculars. I stepped back so fast I knocked over my bedside lamp. I sat on the floor in the dark, back against the bed, heart going so fast I could feel it in my teeth. I stayed there until morning. I didn't sleep that night, or the next. By the 4th day, my eyes felt like sandpaper. I stopped going to the window. I kept the curtains shut at all times. I started sleeping in my bathroom, curled on the tile floor with a pillow and a blanket like a man hiding from weather. My coworker Priya called to check on me. I told her I had a cold. She said I sounded strange. I said I was fine. I was so used to saying I was fine. On the 5th night, exhausted, broken, curtains still shut, I finally made a decision. I was going to go across the street. I was going to knock on that door. I was going to end this. I put on my shoes. I grabbed my keys. I opened in my front door and stopped, taped to the outside of my door, at eye level, neat and precise, was a photograph. It was taken from across the street, through my window, through my curtains. A long lens shot, slightly grainy but perfectly clear. It was me, standing at my own window, looking through binoculars, and in the bottom corner of the photograph, almost as an afterthought, a date and time were printed in small black type. The date was from 2 weeks before I had even moved in. I stood in my doorway for a very long time. Then I went back inside. I sat on the edge of my bed, and